A worker was having a great day at work due to how little customers they were getting, which meant that he received more breaks during his shift. At around 1 p.m., he decided that he was going to eat his dinner earlier because of this privilege. But little did he know that something else would be in the room with him. He was usually all alone in the break room, but not this time. This time was far worse than the fear of loneliness.
Okay, so I'm sitting here eating my lunch, and that apple just moved. Oh, shit!
For some reason, an apple moved a slight distance, and this caused the worker to take out his phone and begin to film the incident. He thought that nothing else would happen, but recording would be worth the slight chance, and it paid off. He managed to capture the apple and make an almighty movement off from the table, and it was clear that nothing visible caused this. Furthermore, it would take some mighty wind to cause that, and based on the fact that it was indoors and nothing else was moving, this was not the cause. There is only one real solution. It was a ghost. George and the rest of his family were all in the kitchen waiting for their mother to serve dinner when all of a sudden they noticed something really out of the ordinary going on. One of the cups that they had set up on the table for dinner started to move on its own accord, and George thought this was a good time to record. It is important to note that nobody in the house had ever experienced anything paranormal before, and this was a first-time experience, making it much more mysterious.
No, Jenny! Mira. No va a elegir. Mira.
Moving?
Mira, pues.
¡Ah!
¿Ay, tú? Ya va llegando acá. Uy. ¿Sí sabes esto o no? Porque ven las cosas que aquí asustan. Ay.
As you can see, the cup was moving without anybody interacting with it, and as far as we could tell, no force was acting upon it either. No matter how much you zoom in or how slow you actually make the video, it does not show any signs of strings or items that could have interfered with the incident. This video seems to be very authentic, and I fear for the family, but if you find anything wrong with it, then feel free to let me know in the comment section. In the following video, Thomas was in his room drinking some booze and watching television about the paranormal when something fitting to the activity happened. When the event happened, Tom did not believe that his eyes were seeing what they were due to the amount of booze he had put into his system, and it could have easily been a hallucination. Fortunately though, he was smart enough to have taken out his phone and started recording the situation so that later on he could look back and see if it was truly real again. And to his surprise, it was. But before I show you the footage, did you know that your paranormal footage can actually be included in future Haunter videos? All you have to do is email hauntedvofical@gmail.com with your footage alongside a description of the backstory and what happened, and you have a chance to be featured. Anyway, here is the clip.
I was laying in bed watching some goddamn shit. This turned off. Then I went to go grab a drink, and for some... Are you fucking joking? Can you please stop? Do you see? This is starting to get more sketched out. Actually, to be honest with you, like, I'm starting to get more scared. Like, as we go along.
Strangely, the glass bottle moved by itself and had Tom questioning whether he had drunk a few shots too many. After this incident, Tom took no action on the ghost, praying that it was a one-time occurrence, and due to no more updates since the incident, we are left in the dark too. All that we can do is hope the spirit left him after this. Ethan was in the short period of his life where he had no responsibilities, as he had decided to take a gap year before entering his university studies. The year was coming to an end, and his mother agreed that for the final month he could live in her house one last time, and Ethan was maximizing this opportunity by having fun with all of the items that he cherished. One thing that he loved was the dartboard, and as a child, he used to play with it every single morning without fail. This is why he is such a good darts player. However, on what could be his last ever time playing with the board, something extraordinary happened, and here it is.
Dart time. Good old red. What the?
What did you do?
Nothing. The garbage can just fell off the table.
Are you sure you didn't hit it or something?
No, it was over by the piano. Okay, I'm done playing darts for a while.
Just after he threw his third and final dart, a bucket on the table beside the dartboard collapsed to the ground, and the thud was so loud that even Ethan's mother heard it. She later asked Ethan for the video once he said what happened, and they both had a similar thought come into their minds. Ethan's father had passed away 3 months ago, and one thing he used to always do when playing darts is throw something to the ground to put his opponent off. It made sense that this could have been him, but was it far-fetched to say? Not in my opinion. A paranormal surge is far worse than other paranormal situations, and the reason for this is quite obvious, but let me explain what one is first. In basic terms, it is when more than 5 haunting incidents happen within a minute of each other and can mean one of 2 things. You are either dealing with an extremely powerful spirit, typically an evil one, or you are dealing with several spirits that are working together to make your life a misery. The video that I am about to show you perfectly encapsulated a paranormal surge, and it was an extremely bad one. All sorts of things happened, and surprisingly, calling this a paranormal surge would be a bit of an understatement. The way things were happening in all sorts of rooms says to me that this was the act of several normal spirits, but it is not unheard of for a demon to cause this much distress by itself. The DS family is a family that posts their shenanigans to TikTok for the world to see, and they are actually pretty big with a follower count of 44,000. Their content used to be innocent and fun with their kids doing all sorts of goofy things, but nowadays that fun and quirky side is long gone. This is because they started to get haunted by a poltergeist that they have not been able to identify or combat, and it always seems to show itself at nighttime when the children are asleep. Here is a video of the mother catching the ghost in the act, as per usual. All sorts of ghostly noises and knocks happened around the house, and it is important to note that only the mother and the children were in the house. It was evident that the children were sleeping and the mother was filming, so none of them could have made these sounds happen. This was most definitely the return of their haunter. This was the last straw for the mother, and she is currently in contact with a ghost hunter over cleansing her household. Feel free to wish her luck in the comments. There are all sorts of methods that a spirit can use to haunt you, and one of the most fear-instilling ones is called an apparition. An apparition is when a ghost shows itself to the real world, whether it is as an orb, a shadow, or a full-fledged human being, reincarnation. But the word doesn't tend to be thrown out there for something as simple as an orb. In the upcoming video, all kinds of things happen, and at first the woman believes it is the ghost of a child, and you will likely think the same. However, she does end up being disproved. As you could see, all kinds of things were happening, but they were centered around the kids' toys, which is what led the woman to believe the poltergeist was that of a little child. Little did she know that the scariest was yet to come. As she looked into the window, she could see a shadow taller than her leaning over her shoulder. And if this truly was the shadow of the spirit causing all of this, then it could not have been a kid. She had every right to feel the most terrified she had ever been, and she took her daughter Lucy to sleep at her grandma's for the foreseeable future to keep her safe. Over the past 10 or so videos on this channel, we have included clips from the exact same exploration, and I am proud to announce that this saga is finally going to come to an end. I am talking about the Midwest ghost hunter's adventure into a haunted manor, and he spent the entire night alone there, capturing all sorts of paranormal instances, hence why we were able to gather so much content from it. Well, all that I have to say is enjoy the last ones.
What is that? What does it look like? Almost like fingernail clippings in there. Yeah, I'm definitely not touching those. What is that? Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What was that? What was that? It was the coat hanger! How do you explain that? Oh, I'm sorry, Hank. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I'll leave you alone if you want me to. Do you want me to leave? Okay. I'm leaving. I am out of here. Is there anyone in any of these rooms? Right now I'm just taking pictures everywhere. Is there anybody in this room? What was that? That was a crazy weird sound. It came from the bathroom. Over here. Is there somebody in there? Whoa, it almost looks like somebody's in there. What the heck is that? It just looked like somebody's sitting, like in the bathtub.
The spirit started creating thudding noises, and it was almost as if it was trying to lure the Midwest ghost hunter to the location it wanted. Due to the ghost hunter wanting to find paranormal activity, it followed both of the thuds, which led him to a bathtub, and what he saw was most definitely jaw-dropping. A mist appeared to be sitting in the tub, and when he looked away and back for a split second, it was gone. Being the brave man he is, the Midwest ghost hunter was not going to let this slide, though. He went in to investigate.
It's for the sake of research. There's nobody. Damn, that was creepy. I'm sorry to have disturbed you. Whoa! Oh! That freaking curtain just moved! Oh god, how do you explain that now? This is so freaking crazy. I'm speechless. I mean, what the hell? So this is room 17 and 18. And this is where all those assaults took place. Now that sounds pretty horrible on paper, but a lot of people theorize that it may not have actually been assaults, but instead...
As he theorized, the apparition had completely vanished from the tub, and he was ready to leave the room, but suddenly the curtain moved alone. This might be the last we see of his manor exploration, but this will not be the last we see of the Midwest ghost hunter, so subscribe. Also, don't forget to email your ghostly findings to hauntedofficial@gmail.com with a description for me to create a story round. The following video was filmed in the kitchen of Daniel, a man who had recently divorced his wife. He was having trouble adapting to the lifestyle of living life by himself, but fortunately, he could cope with it. However, a spirit clearly wanted to make this struggle even more difficult, and did so by haunting the poor man. He had no belief or correlation to anything tied with the spiritual world, and you would not place money on him being a victim, but this is what happened.
Okay. You know, I've seen this cabinet before, but it hasn't opened since the last time I recorded it opening, because I walked into the kitchen to the refrigerator and I was walking past it and I got about right here and it went and opened behind me and scared the crap out of it. Got my heart thumping, let's put it that way. Because you don't expect that sound as you're walking by and so close to you. But it hasn't opened since, and I can jump up and down and it won't open. See, I'm banging on the floor and it still won't open anymore. I don't know, that's weird. And the refrigerator's been making a god-awful noise. It used to make another god-awful noise, like the fan bearings were screeching, and it was just such a loud whistle. Sometimes I'd just unplug it. But sometimes I could unplug it and plug it back in and it would stop doing it. But now it's making this, whoa! Okay, see, I didn't even move. I wasn't even moving. That's the first time that's happened since the last time. Okay, it's got to be a bed bearing, but I wasn't moving. Look at that. It's closed, and there's nothing on the edge. There's nothing on the edge that would, like here on this edge, that would push it out. And there's the magnet clip. See, that snap's closed. Alright. Fuck, see? That's the freaking noise. Oh my freaking god. Alright. Creepy crap going on in the house. Oh, man. Alright. I just wanted to show you that. And I got both of them. Awesome. At the same time. Still closed. Nothing. Come on, open it again. Let me see you open it again. Come on. I'll even move around. Jumping up and down. Banging on the floor.
The first time this happened was off camera, as explained by Daniel, and it frustrated him that he was not able to capture it since. Furthermore, the other sound that I was unable to identify had also been bugging him, so both of these things added together definitely made him question things, to say the least. Regardless of his fear, he powered through this haunting until the end, and surprisingly, it stopped happening by itself out of nowhere. He was a very lucky man that this happened. The man who recorded our next clip has actually been in a haunter video before, and it was a very recent one on the channel. In this video, I explained that he had been living in the same home for 2 years, and prior to the clip that I showcased, not a singular out-of-the-ordinary event actually happened, making it odd that something did. This is why people believed the event would be a simple one-off scenario, and the house, and Ellen, would never encounter anything like this ever again. But to his dismay, these verdicts were wrong, and just 1 week later, this was captured. This time around, the event took place in his bedroom, and he heard clawing sounds coming from the wardrobe, which was what prompted him to record the incident. He is currently in talks with a ghost hunter to come and resolve his issues, but only time will tell if this is going to be a valid choice. Just like Ellen, Lean has also been seen knocking around on the channel recently, and his story just continues to get worse and worse. He was a strong believer in the paranormal and superstitions, and was thankful every night that nothing had happened to him. But one day, all of this thankfulness turned into fright. Whilst Lean was home alone, which he often was, a paranormal surge occurred, and this finally confirmed to him that all of these things that he had been buying into were in fact true. He quickly contacted an exorcist to resolve the issue, and after roughly a week, they managed to banish the spirit successfully, so you are probably wondering what happened after that. The truth is that we don't know, but several clips have emerged from the period whilst Lean was waiting for the exorcism, and here is another one.
3 de la mañana, me vine a la casa del campo, leí muchos comentarios que me recomendaban que me mude y me vine para acá para ver si el problema era yo, pero parece que me sigue porque se escucha, escuchando. Yo ya no, miedo ya no tengo. Y no hay nadie. El ropero de este es grandísimo, pero no, es increíble, pero parece que me sigue. La verdad, no.
In this one, he heard banging from behind the wooden doors and knew that something was peculiar. This is what tempted him to start recording the incident, and thank the heavens he did, because he managed to gain even more evidence of his struggles. This spirit was far from a chill one, but at least we can be thankful that Lean does not suffer from it any longer. If any more clips from this period rise, though, I will be sure to include them in future content, so subscribe. On September the 5th of 2024, Antonio was in his son's bedroom waiting for him to finish his shower. The details of the reason are unknown for obvious reasons, but the baseline knowledge that we do have is that the child was in trouble and Antonio wanted to sit him down and have a chat. He was waiting for what felt like ages and ended up sitting there playing some mobile games when suddenly he sensed something. Eager to see what it was, he took out his phone camera and started filming, and what he captured was terrifying. Take a look. The toy of the Toy Story character, Woody, somehow moved without any human interaction, and it was clear that no form of visible force had acted upon it. This meant that it was either the wind or a spirit, and after checking the weather on that date in his area, the latter seems more likely. We often see ghost videos on this channel that have been captured through the use of CCTV or standard household security systems, and these tend to be some of the most extreme. This is because when a spirit knows that they are being watched through a camera lens, they tone down their actions to leave room for mystery, in order to not fully blow their cover. But how are they supposed to know that a hidden camera is staring at them? The video that you are about to watch was caught using one of these hidden security cameras used for parents to monitor their children at night, and what it managed to get on tape was pretty disturbing. Have a look. First of all, let's cover what actually happened in this clip. The child was innocently sleeping late at night when all of a sudden some form of poltergeist gripped him by the ankle and dragged him off from the bed. This was obviously disturbing because it is not every day that you get to see something like this, but on top of that fact, the victim was a literal child, which always adds a shame factor to the haunting. It truly was a tough watch. The following video was captured by a man called Komapip from Japan, and he is a well-known YouTube star in the country. His content revolves around the paranormal world, and the paranormal world only. So to say he has a lot of experience with poltergeists would be putting it lightly. He's beyond a level of expertise. In this video, he decided to visit a place in Nagasaki that was known for being a hellhole, and the people who entered rarely came out without some sort of interesting story to tell. And for Komapip, well, this was no different.
この全てがそのまんまな感じ。寝室か。勉強机。お子さんがいたのかな。お風呂ですね。物がね、山積みになってます。まあ情報通りあまり大きな家ではないみたいだけど、にしてもちょっと物が残りすぎてて逆に不気味だな。カレンダー、2007年4月、14年前からこの状態ってことですね。まあ確かに置いてあるものが時代を感じるというか VHS だもんね。ちょっと待って足音がする。人がいる。2階に人がいる。マジか。出るか。いやでも気づいてるはずだよね。こっちに。誰かいますか？もしここで寝泊まりとかしてるんであれば返事してもらってもいいですか？すぐ出ていきます。誰かいますよね？もしいらっしゃるんでしたら、壁とか叩いてもらったらすぐ出ていくんで。
I included quite a lot of his general exploration in this because I felt that it was important for you to get a feel of the haunted house, but towards the end, a stomp from upstairs could be heard. After this, Komapip stood silently at the bottom of the stairs, flashing his light up there in case of any sudden movement, but to his dismay, it never came. He did catch another paranormal event that night though.
何もしないんで。え？ 声聞こえた。上がりますよ。ちょっと。誰かいますか？いたらすぐ出ていくんで、何もしないんで。すげえものこれ。なんだこれ。誰もいませんか？これ。うわ、包丁？くそ。ちょっともうさ、いやマジで。誰かいますよね。いやもうちょっと待って、いや本当帰るんでごめんなさい。くそ。くそ。何もしないんで、脅かすつもりとかはないので、ちょっとだけ見て帰ります。くそ。足が悪い。誰もおらんちゅうけど。
This time around, he found a terrible sight in a knife being inside of a table, and it was followed by the ding of a bell, which was likely the ghost attempting to make its presence known, and it did a darn good job. After this event, Comapip called it a day, and decided that he had garnered more than enough content for one day, leaving the vicinity. At 3 a.m., anything ghost-related can happen, and this is because it is what we know as the witching hour. However, some ways in which these ghosts express themselves can get very unique, and this happens on many different occasions, including one that I am about to show you. It happened whilst Val and her boyfriend were calling somebody, but to their dismay, the incorrect person picked up from the line, and then all hell broke loose.
Hoy vamos a hacer llamadas de terror a las 3 de la mañana. Estamos en un hotel que supuestamente hay espíritus.
Se supone que aquí era un hospital antes.
Así que pueden pasar cosas. Continuamos con la llamada. Le estamos marcando otra vez. Bueno. ¿Te podemos ayudar en algo? ¿Ocupas ayuda? ¿Quién eres?
¿Qué pido, Valeria? ¡Cuélgale!
Le empezó a decir el nombre de Diego, creo.
Vale, ya.
No. Cierra, güey, neta, cierra. Cierra. Uy, no, túmbate el están marcando eso. Uy, güey, tengo miedo.
First of all, a demonic voice started playing down the microphone, and both Val and her boyfriend were justifiably frightened by this sudden evil sound. Next of all, though, the lights began to flicker, and it was all topped off with some sort of shadow figure standing through the peephole of the door. Out of fear, the couple went to sleep, hugging very tight that night. But the next day, with regained confidence, they sat down in the same area to see if anything would happen again. Did it? Well, watch and find out.
Oigan, no sabemos qué pasó. Literalmente, Diego y yo estamos solos en el cuarto. De madrugada no hay manera en la que haya sido otra cosa. Güey, nos están pasando cosas muy raras.
Ya apaga eso, vale.
Vamos a literal salir al pasillo porque están tocándonos la puerta horrible y ya tenemos mucho miedo. Vean, o sea, esto está...
Me siento raro, vale.
Los pasillos están... Espérate, no corras, espérate, Diego. O sea, vean los pasillos. Uy, no.
The lights flickered once again, and this time they both sprinted out of the apartment room. Unfortunately, the hauntings followed them to the outside, and after a long and hard thinking session in the car, they decided that it would be best to move to a new apartment complex. The following video was captured by a shopkeeper called Damien, who was walking around making sure that everything was in pecking order before opening the store. It was very important to make sure that all the items were displayed well, and nothing was misplaced, because it helped to maximize sales, which is important for obvious reasons. One day, whilst Damien was on shift doing this regular work, he started to feel weird and heard odd sounds. It was because of this that he started to film and managed to get this on camera.
Bueno, gente, soy el sereno acá de este supermercado y ahora estoy por lavar toda esta zona. Esta sería la zona de huevos, lácteos. Y bueno, acabo de escuchar algo en la fiambrería. Debe ser mi amigo el fantasma. Qué querrá, ¿no? Parece que mi amigo el fantasma se quiere comunicar a través de esas luces. Fantasma, ¿quieres tú algo? ¿Estás aquí? Dime. Ah, bueno. ¿Qué quieres? Hola. Bueno. ¿Me dejas trabajar mejor, fantasma? Por favor. ¿Me dejas? Que quiero trabajar tranquilo. ¿Estamos? Por favor.
All sorts of weird phenomena started to happen around the store, and Damien knew that something was there with him. From falling bread to collapsing trays, all of this would not have happened by sheer coincidence, and the spirit was making its presence known. This was a horrible experience for Damien and actually made him religious. Fortunate, neither him or the shop have seen or hosted any more activity since this date. The kitchen is a common place for paranormal activity, and I have absolutely no idea as to why. Seemingly every video that I publish on this channel has one or two instances that take place in the kitchen, and the one that you are about to see is no different. It took place in the home of Casos, a Spanish father of two who was enjoying his day off from work after lying about being sick. The bad karma got to him though, because this happened whilst he was supposed to be having a relaxed time.
Bueno, ahí para que vean después el video se lo voy a mostrar. Estoy colocando agüita para llevar un tecito, un termo. Vuelvo a cerrar. Tengo la taza. Esa es mi bebé. Esa pulguita es mi bebé, que se llama Canela. Y esperando. Aquí vean esta piolita. Ya, ahí empezó. Ya. Voy a empezar a huevear. Estoy hueveando. Bueno, No es algo muy normal. La taza se movió. El gato. No es muy agradable la sensación que se vive acá. Ya, es hueveo, ya. Ya cabros, un ratito para afuera.
He started to hear some mysterious sounds coming from the kitchen, so he did what anybody would have done and investigated. He expected to see something such as a rodent or his cat causing chaos, but what Casos found was very disturbing. The mug moved itself on its own accord not once, but twice, indicating that it was haunted. Casos was extraordinarily lucky to have caught this on camera, because who knows who would have believed him otherwise. Donna Ayres is a woman who you will be very familiar with if you are a regular on this channel. She has been a victim of paranormal activity for an extended period of time now, and she has uploaded so much content about her spirit that she will probably be seen in haunter videos several years down the line. The thing that makes her spirit weird is that a lot of its behaviors match that of her ex-husbands, who passed away a few months before the hauntings began. This has led many theorists to believe that he is the one haunting her, but if this is the case, then he must have a serious vendetta against her based on what he does.
Guys, I just thought I'd put you back on. That coin seems to like me very much because it just won't stop. It seems to be it's just doing its own shit. And you've got to see this. It is freezing, by the way, on where I'm stood, and I can hear. You wouldn't believe me if I said, because you'll think I'm fucking losing the plot. I'm not. How is this possible? Guys, you've got to be seeing this. Who are you? What do you want? Are you restless? What do you want? Why won't you leave me alone? What is it you're trying to tell me? Guys, you're seeing this, aren't you? This is ridiculous. Guys, this is ridiculous. What the fuck? This... Are you... No, shit. Sorry guys, but I'm just coming in here. That coin just flew at me, right at me. Something. I don't know if it's because I have a Ouija board now and I'm egging this spirit on, but it's getting very violent, very. I'm just going to upload this footage now, guys, because there's too much happening now.
In this clip, the poltergeist toys with a coin that Donna left on the table, and she is evidently scared by this. If the ghost was that of her husband, it likely would have stopped once he realized she was in fear, but going off the fact that it continued to mess with the coin and even launched it towards her, I am starting to tilt away from that theory. Let me know what you think in the comments. Diego worked in the storage unit at his local institution, and it was a job he enjoyed very much due to how easy it was for the pay. All he needed to do was keep tabs on how much stock the company had, so that if anything went wrong, such as an item being stolen, he could notify the higher-ups to resolve the issue. While the job was incredibly easy though, every now and then Diego felt kind of bored, because it did not involve much, and the majority of the time, nothing went wrong. Occasionally, he would yearn for some sort of crazy event to happen mid-shift for some simple entertainment, and one day, his optimisms were gratified. Take a look.
Mochila. ¿Qué está acá?
What seemed to be something along the lines of a bedsheet fell from the trolley, and Diego was completely and utterly baffled. He had no clue how he was supposed to react to such an incident, and actually ended up notifying his boss shortly after it happened. His boss claimed that it must have been caused by a source of wind, but there were no windows where this place was making this excuse. Lame, to put it in a light tone. This was definitely a ghost, and the only people who deny this are non-believers. When you think of the term ghost hunters, the chances are that you think of somebody whose job is to go out and seek ghosts. Whilst in most cases this would not be wrong, not all ghost hunters have this as a job, and many just do it as a hobby. The clip that you are next going to be exposed to was captured by one of those people who searched for spirits simply out of entertainment. His name is Ellis, and he decided to explore a haunted house when he caught this on camera.
Uy, no mames, ¿qué fue eso? ¿Hay alguien? ¿Qué fue eso, amigos? ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué fue eso? Uy, alguien corre, alguien corre, alguien corre. Alguien está corriendo. ¿Hay alguien aquí? Miren, aquí hay puertas, como que alguien quitó la puerta. ¿Hay alguien aquí? Uy, 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 se acaba de mover esto, amigos. Se acaba de mover esto. Y esto se movió. ¿En dónde estás? ¿Dónde estás? Queremos verte. Se acaba de mover esto. Uy, 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 uy. Uy, uy, uy. Uy, uy. Ahí está caminando, amigos. Ahí está caminando, ahí está caminando. Ahí está caminando. ¿Hay alguien? Uy, me caigo. ¿Hay alguien aquí? Si estás aquí, quiero que te manifiestes. Uy, ¿qué fue eso? ¿Qué es eso?
All sorts of clearly haunting things happened around the household, and there was no denying that a spirit was behind all of this. Despite doing this as a hobby for quite some time, Ellis was rather petrified this time around, and after ending the recording, left the scene completely. Camping in the woods can be a great experience or a horrible one, and it is rare that you manage to find anything in between. You could either have a blast with your friends and have zero sleep with maximum fun, or be stuck in the middle of a murder scene, and unfortunately, the latter was the case for the couple in our next video. They were having an innocent camping trip in the middle of the woods, then they suddenly heard some loud screaming noises that sounded way too close for comfort. This beckoned the woman to grab her phone and take this.
When the sun goes down.
Got a load of kids running around in here. Can you hear them all?
That's a big ass dog.
That's a girl crying. Can you hear that, guys? Hang on. Turn the lights off for a minute, people. Turn these lights off. Turn these lights off. Hang on a minute, guys. We've got to turn these lights off. Turn the lights off. Turn that light off. Turn it off. Shh. Shh. Just sit down. It is a girl. It is kids, guys, but I did hear a girl, so can you just bear with us a minute? Because that bloke sounds a bit weird. Just bear with, yeah? Is he getting closer? Can we just turn all the lights off so he can't see us, please? Because he sounds really weird. Where's he gone? Oh my God. I can't even hear anything, and that's... What was that? I'm at Brian's, Sam. I'm near Brian's. See? I don't mind hunting ghosts, but it's the humans that worry me.
Same,
Human beings freak me out.
Give me a cryptid any day.
I just want to know that he's gone, really. Is that him? That sounds far away.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Right, okay, we're coming back. Give us a minute. Sorry, that was
savage.
That was just you know what it is, it's Saturday night, so even if they're playing around or not, he did sound a bit, yeah, I don't really want him coming over to me, so
Eventually, after a long period of time, the screaming came to a complete halt, and the two of them took a few moments to gain the confidence to turn the lights back on. Whoever was behind this clearly had ill intent, and they were both fortunate to have come out safe. The scariest form of paranormal activity is a debatable topic, and I can see myself listening to arguments for all sorts of types. One form of hauntings that I just fail to see past, however, is apparitions, and this is because they tend to have a creepy and uncanny nature. The following video took place in a little girl's room and was actually filmed by the girl who had only recently been gifted a mobile device from her parents. It is truly horrific that a spirit had the heart to put her through this. For a split second, the apparition of an uncanny spirit appeared in her room and it looked terrifying. She sprinted downstairs and showed her mother after the recording ended, who was equally as freaked out by the clip, and rightfully so. Alex is a woman who has appeared on this channel before for having a haunted home that she managed to obtain some clips from. This video is adding to her haunter appearance tally and showcases another time that she managed to catch the spirit in the act on camera, except this time it happened all around the house. Alex seemed to have to trek around the entire building to see what was going on, and she got a lot on camera. Due to having a portfolio of evidence ready to show off to a ghost hunter, once she had enough to hire one, she added this video to it, and if she posts anything else, you will be the first to see it if you subscribe. Snooker is a game enjoyed and played by many across the world, and this is likely due to how simple the fundamentals and mechanics are. Tables are installed in almost every single bar, and some fortunate households are able to own one, but the one in the video that you are about to watch was in a metro station, the breakroom for the staff in particular. One day, a man called Cesar, one of the members of staff, claimed to have seen the snooker table have some balls move without any human interaction, and so he came to the decision of taking out his camera to record the table and see if it would happen again. Did it? Well, have a watch and find out.
Chucha, weón. Oh, conchetumare. Oh, mierda. Oh, qué weá. Qué weá. Oh, cabro. Cabro. Cabro, weón. Oh.
To the surprise of Cesar, it did in fact happen again, and this time it was even more aggressive than the last. He quickly took his findings to the main office in order to inquire about what they were going to do next. To the dismay of Cesar, nobody actually believed him and accused him of making some form of system that made the snooker balls move for attention. And since Cesar did not do this, he got rather offended. He quit the job with a 2-week notice and walked out of the building, praying that the gauntings would continue so that they would eventually believe him and he would get the last laugh. The following video took place inside the household of Abdul, a religious man who had full faith in a spiritual world that was by no means accessible to humankind. He believed that this world was full of entities, and whether they were evil demons attempting to cause chaos, or holy angels trying to restore peace wherever the demons walked, they existed. Abdul did, however, believe that compared to the rest of the world, he was a nobody, and he would be the last person that a demon would attempt to torment. Well, in the video that I am going to expose you to right now, this theory was proven wrong. Quite a few things happened in this clip, with the primary focus being physical hauntings. The thing that I would like to point out the most, though, is the fact that the supposed demon pushed some form of holy scripture to the floor. Abdul explained after the incident that until this happened, he was okay and could cope with the situation, but after that his heart started racing. All the act did was prove that this poltergeist was not an angel of God, and rather a demonic creature from hell. Julio Gomez was a man who took pride in his hobbies, even though some of them were very abnormal, to put things lightly. For example, one of his most enjoyable activities was to visit all sorts of locations that are deemed as haunted and prove whether or not their label is true, and through this, he has gained a decent social media following. In the piece of content that I am going to show you, he visited the cellar of a bar that supposedly had a spiritual little girl haunting it, and the stories of her went back through absolute centuries. Julio knew that this spirit was not aggressive due to the reports, but just wanted to make sure that this wasn't some fake publicity stunt from the bar to garner more customers and hence make more revenue for their business. Here is the short clip that Julio managed to capture.
Niña. Niña marciana. ¿Dónde estás? Niña. Niña marciana. ¿Dónde estás?
At the start of the clip, a wailing sound echoed down the stairwell, and Julio was extremely freaked out by this. It sounded like the source of the sound was in pain and most certainly suffering, but due to his knowledge of the place being haunted, he had no urgency to check on the likely spirit. He slowly went up the stairs in case the girl was real and was cautious of a sudden paranormal surge. And you guessed it, the second he fell for the bait of the poltergeist, a locker moved on its own accord down the stairs. This place was 100% haunted, and it went down as another successful mission from Julio. On December the 1st of 2021, Carlos, a Mexican man who lived with his small family of 3, was home alone whilst his wife and son were out clothes shopping late at night. Carlos was an innocent man, and that is not a far-stretched comment whatsoever. He did not believe in any sort of what he called paranormal rubbish, or any religious things because he was more of an "I'll believe it if I see it" kind of guy. Carlos used to throw this quote around all the time, and he was given the nickname See It Carlos at his workplace, which even he managed to have a chuckle at. Little did anybody know, though, that one day Carlos was going to see it and become a believer for the rest of his life. This is that date.
Hola amigos de TikTok, nada más quería decirles que estaba por empezar live y todo el día se había estado haciendo como una vibra muy mala en la casa. Había tiempo que no pasaban estas cosas desde que puse la cámara. De hecho, me voy a atrever ahorita a bajar, aprovechando que los perros están muy ladridos. Hola. Ahí solo está mi queridísima bicha, viendo no sé qué donde el árbol. ¡Bicha! ¡Bicha!
Carlos went downstairs into his sitting room to find the cat behaving quite strangely. Usually she rested on her little bed beside the kitchen door, but this time around, she was alert and sitting on the sofa. We all know that there is a theory of cats being able to spot ghosts too. Just to back up the fact that the cat sensed a spiritual presence, one of her toys moved without any visible force acting upon it, and this made it clear to Carlos that he was being haunted. He put the toy into the trash and immediately made a trip to the tip, never encountering any spirits again. It's rare in a haunter video that I include a clip from the same person twice, except space them apart, but this time I am going to do just that. Clip 2 of this video was taken by a man named Abdul, and as I said, he was a religious man who experienced a demon attempting to haunt him. After that incident, Abdul decided to add new prayers to his routine and ask to be protected from said demons, but despite his efforts, they continued to come. He was becoming really stressed out with it all and was tempted to hire an exorcist to come and help him handle the situation. Here is another clip that Abdul captured from the haunting.
Me llama mucho la atención. Esta silla la había comprado yo en un centro comercial. Realmente no me la traje de ningún lado. Pero me llama mucho la atención porque cuando quiero... Bueno, se ha estado moviendo muy raro. Y... Bueno, por ejemplo... Sia, quiero hablar contigo. Sia. Sí, quiero hablar contigo. Eso es lo que me llama la atención. Se me ve como si de verdad no quisiera que yo hablara con ella. Ven, aquí. Ven otra vez a este lado. Sí, paso de este lado y es exactamente la misma situación. Sí, no sé qué puedo hacer eso. La silla sigue moviéndose como si nada. Sí, ¿por qué no quieres que hablemos ya? Otra vez. No sé por qué sucede eso. Es como si me negara, como si no quisiera.
This time around, the spirit was much more low-key about it. Instead of outright pushing his holy scripture to the ground, Abdul's gaming chair continued to move without anybody on it, and it was clear that no strings were attached. Very creepy. Working as a night shift security guard is a stressful job, regardless of what happens. The eeriness of being alone is enough to break any man into a psychotic state, but when you add the spiritual world into the mix, it becomes a recipe for disaster. The guard who was able to catch our next video on film was working in a children's hospital and hated his job to the maximum. He was always complaining about things, and his family often begged him to quit for his own mental health, but it paid well, so he held out. One night an event happened that tilted him into the idea of quitting, and immediately after he handed in his 2-week notice. Take a look.
Grabado por guardia de seguridad.
He continued to hear knocking from the exact same door all night, and eventually decided that it would be smart to film so that he could show his boss why he was going to quit. Nobody else was in the building with the guard, and his job was a solo one, so it physically could not have been a human that was the root of this dramatic event. Destiny loved making TikToks and put absolutely anything and everything on her page. Unfortunately, none of her videos really hit the spotlight until the one that I am going to show you. It was filmed by her boyfriend and soon-to-be fiancé, who was out of the house doing work. He was a Wi-Fi installation worker for his local broadband company and was sent to households all across his state. Unlike most people in this field, he loved working with electricity and could not have asked for a better job if every single one was made available to him. But of course, every now and then some bad or strange things happen, and this was one of them.
There's nobody in here.
After hearing the first wave of this, the man was deeply frightened and took out his mobile device to see if he could record it for a second time. He was able to, and that was what the video was, which he sent to his girlfriend, who went on to upload it to her socials. Do you think there could have been a natural cause for this? Well, let me know down below. In a recent video on this channel, we looked into the haunted lifestyle of the Midwest ghost hunter, and based on that name alone, you can tell where this is going. This man will go anywhere and everywhere to catch the thrill of seeing a spirit, and the 2 clips that you are about to witness came from an abandoned sanatorium. The time was 2 a.m., and all the way through this trip, he experienced true horrors, but I picked a few out just for you guys. So here is the first.
So right here, I've got a spirit box. I'm gonna see if I can get any communication through this. Oh, jeez, before I even get it out, I'm already hearing things. Hello? What the fuck? Who's down there? I hear weird noises down there. Who's down there? State your name. Oh, holy shit. Those were footsteps. Oh, God. Who's down there? Oh, come on, Ian. Let's go towards them. I'm coming towards you. Whoever or whatever's up here is giving me a creepy vibe.
These noises were very unsettling for the Midwest ghost hunter, because it was clear that the poltergeist behind them wanted him to know of its presence. The footsteps got to him the most because they were swift and quiet, almost as if the spirit was on its tiptoes. This was not all that he managed to hear, though.
It's kind of weird. You can see all the pipes and stuff in there. There's like a window to it, too. I've never really seen anything like that. Just trying to check out all the different rooms I haven't gone in yet. Oh, here's another bathroom. Hello? That was me. Take some showers. Damn, this room is creepy. Oh God, gotta look around this corner. Nothing in there. What about over here? Well, these are some tiny showers. They really didn't give you much space back then, huh? Holy moly. That sounded like a female voice. Hello? Hello? Ma'am? Who's over here? Okay, I know I heard someone down this hallway. Where are you? That woman's voice was so loud I heard it echo. It echoed through this hallway. She seemed nice. At least I hope so. That came from outside. Whoa. What the? Whoa, I just saw something. Something just moved. It was right over here. Something just walked by this. I saw it with my own eyes. Ma'am, are you out here? Thought I'd just seen you. See if I can see her again. Hello? Whoa! I just heard her voice again! It was right over here. Look! There's nothing! There's nothing here!
This time he heard the voice of a female, which confirmed the gender of the spirit to him. Furthermore, he saw some pretty frightening graffiti pieces on the wall, including a satanic symbol which could have insinuated that the place has hosted rituals in the past. The following video took place in an Armenian household and was captured by a man called Ragalzu. He was your standard man. He had 3 children, a loving wife, and a very well-off income. But he had a hobby which did not make sense considering all this success. He often visited haunted locations because he, quote, enjoyed the thrill of being in life-threatening danger. And as I said, considering his success, this made 0 sense. The video that you are about to see took place during one of his adventures in an abandoned house in rural Armenia, and what he caught on video was wild.
Y segundo, que la batería del teléfono me dure. Uy, hijo de puta, cogió la par mía. Ariel Jiménez, hola, buena. Tocayo, tengo el mismo nombre y apellido. ¡A la verga! Les dije. Corrió a la par mía, giré y me cerró la puerta atrás. Qué lindo, ¿no? Ah, gritaron. Están gritando afuera. Ojalá que... Ojalá que se haya grabado bien todo. Literalmente corrió a la par mía que escuché el... Así me doy vuelta y cierro la puerta. Mira, 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 mira. La está viendo. ¿Te paso papel? Nah, chifo. Permiso. Ok. Tiriri, tiriri, tiriri. Ah, su puta madre. Tanto a joder con la puerta.
From the peculiar noises to the doors moving without any visible force acting upon them, it was clear that paranormal activity was at a high in this place. Furthermore, Ragalzu claimed to have felt awfully cold all of a sudden when the paranormal stuff began, which is a telltale sign of a spirit being present. Going out late at night can be a scary experience, especially in a place that can become as sketchy as the streets of Mexico. This clip was filmed by a young man called Stefan, and he was out late after walking his girlfriend back home from the bar like a gentleman. He made it to the train station to get back home when he noticed a gateway opening and closing by itself. Instinctively, Stefan took out his phone to record the incident occurring, and to his absolute joy, the spirit did not halt in its antics.
Mira, cosas que pasan en Barrancos, en el Metropolitano. Oh, qué miedo. Uy, el cuco. El cuco. Uy.
This phenomenon was unexplainable because, as you can see by the lack of movement, it clearly wasn't a windy day in Mexico. On top of this, the gate was supposed to be sealed, and after the clip surfaced, the operator who sealed the gate promised that he did it that night. The chances are that this was more than likely a ghost caught on camera. On March the 8th of 2025, Emma had just completed one of the best nights of her life. You see, she had turned 18 the day prior, so all of her friends slept over, and once they all returned back home, Emma retreated to her room for a recovery, so she would be okay to attend college the next day. Immediately after jumping into bed, her lights were out, but surprisingly, her day had one more surprise in store for her, but it was far from a pleasing one. On the other side of the door, Emma could hear some creepy dialect, and she started to realize that it kind of sounded like somebody she knew. Her friend, Nicole, had only left the house 10 minutes prior, but she had 100% driven away, and the door had been locked, so it was not her. Whatever this spirit was trying to do, it clearly had negative intentions, considering it mimicked the voice of somebody close to Emma to try and invade her space. Fortunately, she did the wise move and ignored the mimic and gave it absolutely no attention once the video ended. This proved to be an amazing choice because slowly but surely, the human sounds started to drain out, and Emma was ready to jump back into bed, but for some reason, the mimic struck again.
And this is why I can't call the cops, because when I go to look, there's no one there. I know it's hard to see, but I'm not opening the door. There's like no one out there. And like, this is a window. There's no people, but this is a window, and you can really see out there. And it's hard to see out there. So I don't know what the hell is going on.
This time, as well as using its voice to mimic that of a loved one, it was scratching on the door, which added much more tension to the situation. As well as this, Emma decided that this time around, she was going to get proof that nobody was sitting on the other side. She filmed through both windows with an angle on the door, and to her dismay, nobody could be seen on the other side, making this whole saga unexplainable. Dua Lupe, not to be mistaken with the music artist Dua Lipa. is a popular social media influencer known for the combination of her attractive looks and paranormal content. She first started uploading videos centered around the paranormal universe quite some time ago, and it acted as a huge funnel for viewers to come into her TikTok page, so she did the only logical thing and rode the wave. She continued to visit some of the most haunted places on the planet, but none managed to deliver her true dream. Dua wanted to witness an apparition. An apparition is when a poltergeist reveals itself physically to the human eye, and these instances are far more rare than any other paranormal incident. Did she manage to capture one on camera for the first time in her life at this haunted shack? Well, have a look and find out for yourself.
Me estoy quedando en una cabaña por el cumpleaños de mi hermana y enfrente hay como una cabaña así, como pero abandonada, chiquita. Y es como una casita del árbol, así como para niños, no sé. O sea, pero se ve muy tenebroso. No sé si se vaya a caer esto porque está como todo podrido. Y no veo como para encender las luces ni nada. Mira, allá está la cabaña. Y... No tiene luz. Hay como una mesa, hay ganchitos de ropa y televisor.
If you were watching closely, you would have noticed the apparition that appeared 6 seconds into the clip. Its head slowly poked around the entrance to the shack before it ducked behind cover again, never revealing itself to the human eye again. Despite evidently feeling fear in the moment, Dua was pleased deep down that she finally managed to experience something of this magnitude and had documented it on YouTuber. Her dream had finally been completed, and this proves that spirits don't always encourage discomfort and negativity, even if they intend to. Hotels are some of the strangest places out there, and people don't know why. For some reason, they just tend to have an odd feeling about them, not to mention that a large portion of them have had paranormal reports throughout their history. It does make sense, considering how many people actually stay within them over their lifespans. Anyway, the video that we are about to watch together came from a woman called Avery, and she worked at the hotel. One day, when a bunch of people came around, none of them wanted to stay in room 205, so she did her job and investigated it. These were her findings.
Okay, so I'm here at work tonight, and we have workers that come here that work on the railroad. I checked in 5 of them, and the second floor is where they usually go because that's where all the king suites are at. Well, they're all saying, please don't put me in room 205. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with 205? And not one of them would tell me what was wrong with 205. I said, is it haunted? Like, really, what is it? Nobody can tell me nothing. So how about me and you, all of us, go up to room 205 and see why no one wants to rent that room. So hold on just a second. Okay, walking up there now. Going up the steps. How's everybody's night tonight? Hopefully it's good. Oh, these stairs kill me. Okay. I might have to turn the camera around, so I'm not very good at this, so just bear with me. All right. It's like really cold in here, though. Like, really cold. And the air's not even on. I mean, I don't see anything. So maybe we can sit. Yeah, the air and stuff's not on. Maybe sit in the dark. See if we can hear something. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. I'm gonna probably lose all my views for my people watching, but okay, let's do this. All right, no, I'm out. I'm out. Okay. I guess I just got my answer. Oh my God. Going back to the front. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but I guess I got my answer. Okay, I think it is haunted. All right, have a good night.
Surprisingly, nothing happened up there. Well, at least on the surface level. After playing the clip back a couple of times, you start to notice that when she walked through the door, a voice could be heard, and it did not take me long to decipher what it said. "Hey" was the lone word, and if that was not the spirit inviting Avery in the room, I'm not sure what on earth else you could pin it to. Mirrors are known to be the closest thing to a spiritual gateway, and it is unknown as to why they have this reputation. One common superstition is that a mirror on the side of the wall acts as a portal to the underworld, and a surprising amount of people buy into this theory, one of those not being the boy in the upcoming clip. He was alone in his room jamming out to some music when his eyes detected motion in his doorway. Confused, the boy's eyes drifted to the door, and what he witnessed was beyond the unexpected. Take a look.
Oh my God, bro. I just seen the craziest shit. Look, over there. Over there, I just seen the craziest shit. Look! Oh my God. What was that? Oh my God. Oh my God, what is that? I'm like shaking right now. What is that? Look it. Watch, it's gonna do it again. It's gonna do it again. Look at that! Nah, bro.
Whatever that thing was, it was not human, and there are several reasons why. First of all, its entire figure was blacked out, and before you say it was all a shadow, the shadow was behind the blacked out part disproving this. Furthermore, the boy was home alone, and they had a lot of security, so a break-in would not have gone unnoticed. There are no excuses for this event. Of course, there will always be doubters though, and the audience of this clip were no different. This is why the boy uploaded a second clip, and this one was even harder to deny.
Look, there it is again. Holy shit. Look, even the cat's tripping. Even the cat's tripping. Last time he'll tell me to go look. I'm going to look. Look. It's literally just the bathroom. Look. Oh God, don't ignore that. But look, windows closed. There's nobody in here. It's just dirty. I'm just not like, what is going on, bro? Look at that. What?
This time he went and explored where the casting was coming from, and sure enough, there was nobody on the other side. Could this have been a concerningly coincidental casting from outside the house, or was there truly a spirit inside? Comment your opinions down below. Chase and his wife were staying at her grandpa's house after he recently passed away, and the reason was rather sad. The funeral had been arranged in a church local to where he used to live, but he lived quite far away, so they used his house as accommodation for the night before a new family started the process of moving in. The house already had a gloomy and unfortunate vibe to it, but when this happened, that feeling was only elevated.
How you doing? You okay?
I don't know.
So, we were just going to bed and we're not let me just show you. Like, we've literally had to put the bag up against the door because we're not sure. And like, we're literally just okay, so we're leaving. We got all of our stuff packed. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, we're out of here. I'm leaving, like, I don't know what's going on.
All around the house, the doors were knocking and shaking, and this was unexplainable considering Chase and his wife were the only two humans in the house. They decided to leave the household and go to stay in a hotel elsewhere, but perhaps this was the wrong decision, because what if the ghost was in fact the grandpa of Chase's wife? James is one of our victims who knew that his house was haunted before recording his clip, but this did not stop him from getting frightened by the situation. The weird thing about James's story is that he purchased his property with the full knowledge of its haunted state, and here's why. He was in a very poor financial position and had to seek a small property. However, he was more of a spacious kind of guy, so searched for some potential bargains online, and soon enough, he found one. A pretty big home with a price as small as a terraced house, but the catch was, it was haunted, and it was not long until he experienced it firsthand.
We have come alive. These are accent pieces that are not meant to go unnoticed into the decor.
Alright guys, this is the place I stay. For the last 2 days I'm hearing things around. I'm really not sure like what is it. Okay, let's find it out. I always feel something here. Something around, man. Seriously. You know, like the footsteps or something. Always. Always I hear that. Hey, did you hear that? Oh my god. Oh my god, man. Oh shit, look at the face on the pillow. Oh, what the fuck, man. Whoa. Let's move on, man.
He walked around the house whilst filming to see if anything would happen, and for a while, none of the spirits seemed to entertain his antics. However, towards the end, a nice-looking chair moved on its own accord, confirming to James that he had not bought a property that would be easy to live in. We can only pray that he is able to cope in the future. 11 years ago today, Ronnie Jewett discovered that the attic in his house was haunted, and he has not been the same since. He was a member of a relatively normal family, and whilst they did all find him to be on the more weird side of things, he was nowhere near weird, to the extent that he would be expected to be haunted. Ronnie didn't believe in any sort of religious or spiritual creatures, and had an "I'll believe it" if I see it mentality. Well, in this short video, he did see it, and he was very close to believing it.
Okay. Alright. See, I have no strings or nothing. This box of a fan keeps fucking moving on its own. No, I have like fuck. I don't see how I would have strings attached anywhere. I'm holding the camera with my other hand, so oh my god.
After this scenario, Ronnie tried to come up with all sorts of silly reasons as to why this was not caused by a spirit, but despite his efforts, nothing that exited his mouth was logical. He went as far as blaming rats in the attic for moving and causing vibrations that moved the box. But let's be real, that's a bit of a stretch. You and I both know that Ronnie experienced the paranormal, and the sooner he believes it is, the sooner he solves all of this. In the following video, a man who had been haunted for many years had decided that enough was enough and was going to perform an exorcism. The thing was that he was completely uneducated in this field, but thought that the sole belief in God that he had would be enough to enhance his skills. Unfortunately, knowing how to read a holy scripture and say your God's name was not enough for the man to banish the spirit from his home, and above all, just made everything worse.
In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, te pido, Señor, que me proteja en el nombre del Padre, Hijo y Espíritu Santo. Hoy quiero leer este salmo. Thus says the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. I am the Lord of the God, who teaches you the prophet, who leads you by the way you should go.
In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, I command you to take these demons out of the house. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, I ask you to leave my house, please. I command you to leave the house in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I am reading the Father's prayers. Leave this house now. Leave in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I command you to leave right now. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
The fact that this ritual was supposed to make the spirit leave this household is beyond crazy, because that is nowhere near what it did. The words of the man did nothing but aggravate it, causing screaming and a huge paranormal surge. Not to mention the fact that the cross flipped upside down, which confirmed that this was the cause of a demon, likely why it was angry when the scripture was read. Moving into a new house can be one of the most stressful periods in a person's life, and there are many factors that play into this. One of the biggest factors, especially when relocating to somewhere far away, is whether or not it is the right move for you. And I doubt that this is the case if you were to find out your new home was inhabited by the paranormal. Unfortunately, the father in the following video, called Clay, was home alone with his daughter in the new house alone, and he noticed something weird. Have a watch.
Hey guys, I just wanted to show you something. I just moved into a new house, and some weird things have been happening. Here, just let me show you. Pardon the mess. It's a little bit of a disaster because, like I said, we just moved in. But anyways, right here, I just want to show you my daughter is sleeping. Okay, now watch. Here, this back room is where it gets weird. Just listen to this. Look at my cat reacting. Nope, not doing it. Hang on. She's still right here. I can't do this.
For some mysterious and unknown reason, the voice of his daughter could be heard coming from inside a random room, and Clay made it very evident that the child was not in this room. The poltergeist he had come across was clearly a mimic, which is an entity that can copy the voice of anything with ease in order to manipulate and scare its victims. Clay and his wife are currently in the process of banishing the spirit and are in negotiations with a local ghost hunter. Feel free to wish them luck in the comments. A woman in the Netherlands had recently moved to a new apartment in hopes of seeking a fresh start due to her old place of residence being haunted. In most cases, leaving a haunted house leads to the person never experiencing something paranormal ever again. But in a minority of cases, this is not what happens. That is because a ghost can be attached to a person as well as a property, and in the situations where the spirit follows them to their new home, it is because it is with the person. Anyways, this happened to the woman in this video.
Dat lichtknipper er weer aan en uit in de hal. Oh, in het nieuwe huis. Dat. Oh, ik durf niet. Oh, ik durf niet. Verdorie. Helemaal klaar mee. Oh. Oh. Ik durf echt niet. Donder op, ik ga er niet naartoe. Ik bel wel iemand.
She had heard some noises coming from behind the door with the flashing lights and took it upon herself to go and investigate rather than stay in the room and not find out the source. To her dismay, there was nothing causing the sounds, and she realized that this may have been the worst possible outcome. Her ghost had followed her. When the sound was followed up by a swinging light and an apparition, she knew that her theory was confirmed and wanted to try a way other than moving house to solve the issue. In order to save money and not pay a ghost hunter, she is currently talking to a priest and prays that she will see a day without a demon beside her. On September the 10th of 2024, something was captured on a street-side camera that made most people question their sanity. The specific time was around 9 p.m., and the only reason that the camera was checked by the local forces was because an incident had happened on the street that night. There were 5 witnesses, but that was not enough when there was a literal camera on site. Well, what if I told you the police got the witness count wrong and missed one?
Perhatikan bayangan di pojok kiri.
If you look closely, there was clearly a spirit in the middle of the road, but what it was doing is beyond me. The reason we know it was a spirit rather than a shadow casting was because it was standing still the entire time, and none of the humans in the area were idle. Furthermore, the way in which it fled the scene was ghost-like as it drifted down the road, but I guess we will never know for sure if a poltergeist is what this camera caught. Gemma was visiting a group of her friends who lived in another part of Portugal that they did. She was fortunately allowed to stay in her best friend Megan's house for her stay, which prevented her from having to fork out the money for a hotel, and this is what really allowed her to go on such an adventure. There was something that Megan hid from Gemma that might have led to her cancelling the entire trip, and this information was that the house was haunted and the moment that Gemma found out what was caught on camera.
It's me. I'm getting ready to say goodbye. I'm going back to Florida. Did you see that? Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Happening here.
What the heck was that? And there's nothing here.
So sometimes these things open like by themselves and it's, oh my gosh, you gotta see this.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I'm scared.
Fortunately, Gemma was leaving the city the next morning anyway, hence why she was sending a goodbye message at the beginning, but she had no clue what the video would entail. From a running child to a drawer opening by itself, it was horrifying for Gemma, and even managed to insert fear into Megan, who was meant to be used to all of this. In many of our recent videos, we have included a clip from a ghost hunter known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, but his real name is Ian. In all of these videos, he has been exploring the exact same place, a haunted manor, and we are finally nearing the end of this exploration. Every piece of content that came from this search has been amazing, and this one that you are about to watch, filmed after a spirit turned the lights on, even gave Ian a spook. Take a look.
Holy crap, that's a shock to the system. I've been walking around the dark for hours. Susie, did you just turn this light on? I took it off the infrared just to show you guys what I'm seeing right now. I can see a lot better now, so thank you for turning the light. Oh, I can't see. Oh my god, I am getting really freaked out in here. Jeez Louise, it's almost like she's toying with me. Are you having fun messing with me? It's okay if you are, I mean, that's why I'm here. So thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
For some reason, just moments are turning the lights on. Susie, the spirit in question, turned them off again in an attempt to frighten Ian. The attempt was a success, and he was left terrified, just like you should be left terrified for my next video, because a video from Ian will appear again. Subscribe so you don't miss it. The following video was captured by a man called Stephen, somebody with absolutely no ties to the paranormal. He did not believe nor interact with anything that linked to spiritual entities, so he is the last person that you would look at and expect to be in one of my videos. But of course, there is a first for everything. One day, Stephen was in his living room when he started to hear some mysterious noises ringing around his household. Immediately after hearing them, he started to film and went to investigate for the source of the sounds, and to his dismay, he caught this on camera.
I keep hearing weird noises and trying to figure out where it's coming from in the house. Oh my God.
When he came to the entrance to his kitchen, he realized that he had scanned the whole house and nobody was in there. Furthermore, the noises abruptly stopped, which was coincidental, considering it stopped just as he began to search. Right in front of him, a box slid from one side of his kitchen table to the other, and this freaked him out for obvious reasons. He had no clue how to advance after this and did not give us any future updates, meaning that the end to this spooky tale remains a mystery. Jackson loved his grandmother to pieces, and when she eventually passed away to cancer, he was deeply saddened. His grandmother was his best friend, and in order to make sure she was commemorated, to the full extent he volunteered to help his mother with everything, including clearing her household of items and working out what to do with them. This was meant to be a depressing but normal task, with no weird things happening other than the doom and gloom in their heads. But it did not take long for the grandmother's house to start showing signs of a poltergeist presence.
Yeah. It's quiet at the moment. You don't really see anything. What the hell was that? Someone just moved it. Just had a bang. Jesus Christ. Look, you can see this is like... You can see there's nothing on it. God, it must have been heavy to be able to move that.
Strangely, the cross moved without any sort of probable cause, and it was clear that nothing visible had made this occur. Jackson's grandmother was a deeply religious woman, so it would have made sense for her to lead Jackson to the cross, and therefore show him that she was there at heart. But of course, there could be a far worse meaning. One thing that spirits enjoy playing with is the cross, especially evil ones, and this was a telltale sign that a demon could have infested the house. But hoping this was just a coincidence, Jackson and his mother continued their task.
God, that was scary. What the hell?
What's that?
Santa fell.
What did that fall on?
It fell from there.
What did it break?
Nothing's broken. It just fell from there. It was literally there. I don't want to put it back in case it drops again.
It was just up there and it literally fell.
Shut up, stupid.
See, she don't believe me. Weird. Did you see that?
What?
The card just fell.
What card?
That one there.
No, I didn't see it fall.
Yeah, because you haven't been watching. So she just ignores it. She thinks there's nothing going on.
Isn't it time to play about them, Nathan? This is supposed to be a party tonight.
Oh, I don't remember that moving.
What is that?
Did you see that?
No.
Stupid games.
Stop it, Nathan. Stop.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing anything. I told you I'm not doing anything.
You're not funny.
No, I'm not funny.
Funny at all.
This time around, a Santa ornament from a few Christmas seasons ago fell to the ground with a loud thud and startled Jackson's mother. Unfortunately for Jackson, she thought that he was being silly or attempting to prank her, so he was not believed. That must have been a painful thing to endure. It is horrible not being listened to despite telling the truth, and the spirit unfortunately made Jackson so through that. Tim Saver was a security guard at the storage unit for large-scale companies, meaning some of the items stored in the facility had valuable assets that, if lost, would put him in grave trouble. This is why he took his job very seriously, and no matter how spooky or creepy something became, he would prevail, and he stuck to his word in the video that you are about to watch. Tim was working late at night and patrolling the storage units when all of a sudden, he heard a bang from one of the units. In case of an intruder, he approached the unit, which happened to be opened by a crack, and slowly entered. This is what happened.
I was hurt during this encounter. This is not the same entity. It's not her.
Please protect me, God.
I guess we're doing this.
Hello?
Whoa!
Hello? Who's there? Hello?
Rather than a person being in there, the unit had some mannequins inside of it, and one of them slowly creeped forward, presumably to frighten Tim, but he was not quite fazed. However, in order to push him onto the edge of insanity, the spirit toppled the mannequin to the ground and threw glass everywhere, forcing him to run away and press his red button to bring the police in. After a search, they found nobody and nothing was missing. The event was labeled as paranormal, and the storage unit paid a small compensation fee to the owners of the unit that this occurred in. Elias Samael is a name that you will be more than familiar with if you are a regular on this channel, because his place of residence has been haunted for so long that he has lost count. He always seems to be uploading new videos to TikTok about hauntings he has come victim to gather as much evidence as possible. And the one that I will be exposing your eyes to shortly is no different. He was relaxing when all of a sudden he felt the need to record due to his body becoming cold, and this is what he managed to capture on his camera. Take a look.
Amigos, ¿qué tal? Estaba descansando un rato, pero oí un ruido y creo que se movió la tabla, porque escuché que se movía y vi y sí se movió. La verdad, no sé, como les comenté en uno de los comentarios o en uno de los videos también, y desde que le hice la oración del Salmo 91, perdón, ya miren eso, amigos, eso es lo que les digo en el video, que desde que le hice eso, creo que rompí el conjuro y tengo que apurarme a conseguir lo que necesito. Aquí se está saliendo de control todo nuevamente. A eso me refiero, amigos.
Somehow, his whole Ouija board setup collapsed to the ground, as if someone or something had shoved it, and this terrified Elias, despite his long history in dealing with the spirit. He was now seriously deciding whether or not to take action upon the spirit and contact and expert to try and banish it, but the fear of angering it lingered even more in his head, and he was still convinced that he could live with it for longer. Subscribe for more updates on Elias.